Welcome back to Emergency Dating Consulting, a place for immediate change and or development in the world of dating. As always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to send me in your questions so I can answer them on the show. Let's go! So I have a man who finds himself in a common emergency, and his heart is broke. And I've been there before. I get it. I think many men relate out there. He asked, she stopped talking to me because I slept with somebody while I was single. I want to reach out to her. Should I? Now I'm going to, as I read his details, it's a long one, but as I read it, I'm going to jump in and out so it doesn't become very long-winded. But these people who really do need assistance, they usually have the longest details, and some people need to be heard. So he says, he's 27 years old, started dating a woman who's 24, and we clicked straight away. Everything was going so well. At this point, 2 months in, I realized that I wanted to be in my first relationship with her. However, after those 2 months, let's say August, she told me that she was having family issues on her side, and it meant she could not put the energy into building a relationship between us. It hurt, but I had to respect it. During that time, we would have small conversations catching up with each other to make sure that we were both okay, but she wouldn't give into giving us both another try. One day, we then had a phone call, and she basically said I should go and pursue a relationship elsewhere because she couldn't give me any guarantees. Again, I had to respect it. So I decided to put myself out there and met somebody. I was friends with benefits but both mutually agreed we was not in it for the relationship. This was in October. During this time, so a few months has passed. During this time, me and the 24-year-old, the woman he's in love with, really started speaking on the phone more and more. She asked me if I'd been on any dates with anyone else. I said yes at the time. She said it made her a little bit angry inside, but at this point I think she was warming more towards coming back and giving it a go, which was the case around December. So we're talking about August, September, October, November, December. We're talking about damn near 6 months. He said we had a phone conversation into the night, and she asked me a question: was I sexually active with anyone during the time we weren't together? At this point, I said I can lie about this and take it with me to the grave, or be honest and transparent, like all relationships should be. I agree. And she reacted completely opposite. She was taken back from it. She said that she needed a few days to think about this, as she couldn't see me the same way. At this point, my hands are shaking. My mind mentally is all over the place. I remember the morning after she put up a post in her language translated to good morning to everyone apart from some. I'm very curious of y'all's ethnicity and cultural backgrounds. But which made me feel it was directed towards me, which it probably was. I was so heartbroken by all this, but at the same time, she called me as well as to check on me and my anxiety, which gave me hope. But then a few days later, she called me to say that she is not going to pursue our relationship any further. Worst news I could have hoped for. During the call, we are going back and forth. But what stood out to me was the fact that I was made to feel belittled and a shit human being, I'm assuming he was trying to say. She told me never to contact her again. She is a quite cutthroat person who doesn't hold back their words, so I knew she meant every word. You're accurate. I mean, there's so many things I want to break down. But you're right so far on at least who she is. And he continues, I was so hurt inside but angry too because of how she spoke to me. I understand how she feels, but I just hate the way she spoke to me, and my mind was in the gutter these past few days waiting for her answer only to be talked to like that. My reactionary response was to go back on the dating app a day after this happened, but then happened to get a message from her with a screenshot of my profile, and she commented saying I'm full of shit and that, quote, how do I know you doing other things until I was available for you, end quote. I simply said we can agree to disagree, but we will go nowhere. Which you're also right. It hurts me you made your decision final and very apparent, which I will respect, and learning how to accept it. Wish you all the best, which is what he told her, with a few more personal stuff added to it. I believe she deleted my number and never heard from her again. But it has been around 7 months since this incident, right? I'm currently seeing someone now, and it's going good. It's been approximately 3 months, but recently I had a dream about the 24-year-old, the woman he's in love with, reaching out to me after someone I knew in real life passed away. Interesting. Since then, it's been playing on my mind. Then a few days after that, I was on Instagram, and my suggested account, she popped up. She created a new account, right? I don't know if this was a sign, but right now my head is in a very weird place. I feel like I want to reach out to her, not necessarily with an aim, but more so to get this hate off my chest. I would at least one final conversation to really talk about why this happened. I'm not the type of guy to end on bad notes with people, and this was the worst I've had with anyone. What's worse is that because I am seeing someone, this is a distraction that I want to settle on my mind once and for all, because I don't want to get in the way of both of us. So I bring this up because heartbreaking situations are just tough to handle. This man expressed multiple times on how his brain is chaotic, and if you remember, he mentioned quite a few times it's been days, right, between an incident and recovery, right? And it can get so intense when someone you're in love with fucks with your head or plays you or confuses you or puts you through these trials and situations where it gets your brain chaotic. And so this is just to help walk people through these times. We've all been in this situation, but also to understand why people do this to you and what you're essentially going through. Everyone is different. But so in this situation, just to dive into this man's feelings, as he said, he had a dream about her. First of all, I don't think it's a sign. Also, don't believe in coincidences, but I don't believe it's a sign that she popped up in Instagram, maybe enough for you to reach out. But y'all had each other's numbers, and I'm pretty sure that's how suggested users work. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty certain I'm right. And you also don't want it to get in the way of what you got going on now. And see, this is what you have to be careful. There's a reason why the woman you're seeing now isn't getting in your head like this other woman, but I can tell you this other woman is what you thought, meaning how she looks, and you know the good things about her. But this is what happens when we fall in love with somebody. We tend to not look at the bad things. Now you have, but you need to understand how much justice it would do you if you get her off of your mind. Drop her like a bad habit. This is going to take a while because you need to not only understand she isn't exactly who you thought she was, but in your own head, you need to understand you're not looking at women how you really should be, like human beings. Now, like you said, you were so hurt inside and angry because of how she spoke to you. You understand how she feels, but I just hate the way she spoke to me and my mom's in the gutter the past few days. And that's really what's going on, and that's why you want to have one last conversation with her. And you said it, and you were truthful with it. Like, you want to get this hate off your chest, but you have to understand, really telling somebody to go fuck themselves or fuck you, getting that hate off your chest, it only spreads more hate. It doesn't do you justice. I get it. Believe me, I'm highly emotional, and this is some shit I would like to do, but I can't, and I won't, and I never will. It's equivalent to suicide on the aspect of, that's a large leap, but on the aspect of it literally only spreads the pain that you were suffering from, and it helps no one. You might think it helps yourself, but you're just throwing it all on your loved ones. So this is what happens when you want to hit somebody up and have that last conversation, and you really want to tell them, you hurt me, go fuck yourself, and etc. You have to understand they're on a crash course, and this is just the logic behind, aside from your emotions, but the logic on not making that last conversation. They're on a crash course to getting their heart broke. They don't know how it feels. You wouldn't play somebody like this and play with their head if you've been in this situation. You just won't. So she hasn't experienced this, and if she has, she's caught up in a dark spell, and she's spreading what was happening to her. And this is what happens to hated, or people that's infected with hate. They spread it. I'm kind of torn in between if she's spreading what she's infected with, meaning just or is she